fall out, all of all bow wow, call tall pow, south side, outside, pow out like missile thought, fire bounce higher, powers out now. I was outside, now my power pow now. Eyes wide, should've speak utterly upside down, camera obscura, power down scuba, mama in Cuba, my it sounds good now. Out and about, title bout, bow, how loud, high loud, Mutai, Aztec, forearm, Nasdaq, abstract, freckle rockin' chow down, hazmat to do so diametrically outbound. Matter of fact, pass that ginger pop in the cooler than the medulla of Rick the ruler. Hula hooping with new bow downs from Nuba. That's that life of a king, got my crown now, feeling accomplished. Super looper fresh chocolate, collectible conscious, young crunk in your town now. Via minor aircraft, snapping like a bear trap. Tijuana Air Max, chainmail gauntlet. Big Bertha earthquakes, 100 dB, 90 BPM, heavy hitting them triplets, 100-sided dice, rolling 79 twice. Get ready, we bringing the jazz back with the rhythm, we giving them influence on some Midwest liquid mission, tricky nicks and mixing, matching, scratching, rapping, action, Jackson making it happen, pap it, midi, patch it, map it with a pinch of magic, casting master sentences, with a gang of wicked vixens, listening close to us, flipping different widgets, mystic digits, coast to coast, pole to pole, folding time, golden time, overload on. Boom, what's up, y'all? This is another TTM Academy lecture. I've been wanting to do a lecture on Kevin Gates for a minute, so we're talking about the demon time era of rap. Right now we're currently in the demon time era, and in that era, corporations are pushing kind of a lot of madness on black youths, black cast youths, and the black community in general. You turn on the radio and it's just nonstop gangs on the real gangs, real mafia on the radio, real cults, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so we're continuing we're continuing with the debunks of RASHAD Jamal, all right, and we're going to be relating, we're going to be talking about RASHAD Jamal's doctrine as it relates to Kevin Gates, right? And so now we're going to start with this because we're going to show RASHAD Jamal shouting out Kevin Gates, because there's a million rappers out there, and there's a lot of positive rappers, and there's a lot of rappers that mix positivity with negativity. And when you mix things, just like with Rashad's lectures, when you mix positivity and negativity together, just like mixing poison and something healthy, it's not a good thing. And if you see this RASHAD Jamal lecture, actually a fan put me onto this. One of his cult fans or whatever was like, yo, you got to check this out. He who they fear, this lecture. And this is him responding to what happened with one of his followers that slayed his mother, committing matricide. We just did a lecture on that. That as it relates to Nature Boy's fan that also committed matricide, right? So we're going to start this off with this. Let me make sure this volume is right on YouTube. Let me see, make sure that it's loud enough. All right, let me turn this up. All right, since I'm kind of screen capturing from the audio. So boom, so I'm going to let this play. And this is, so we're going to first ascertain that, he's a Kevin Gates fan. So let's play this.
I told my people, you gotta be one with nature again. Way before Kevin Gates said that shit. Nothing against Kevin Gates. Shout out to him if he's raising his frequency, sending nothing but peace and love and insight to Kevin Gates. But way before Kevin Gates said that shit, you come right here and get this all day about nature. How we one with the plant life, the insects, the animals.
All right, so he said shout out to Kevin Gates, right? So we're gonna look at Kevin Gates and we're gonna, really dissect who Kevin Gates is and what he's about. When I first heard about Kevin Gates, I first heard about the whole thing of him dating his cousin. So we're going to be going into that, right? And, it's very, very, in this demon time era of rap, there's a lot of sick things that are being promoted. That's why here at TTM Academy, we are a hip-hop science institution. We cover all the sciences that intersect with hip-hop, which is all science, right? From, biology to physics to economics to everything. You know what I'm saying? We cover everything here. And as far as criminology and psychology, this is what we've been focusing on this spring and summer.
So we're going to go into this. All right. I'm going to play a little bit more.
Everything around us.
Let's see.
Right?
All right. So, yeah, we saw that Kevin Gates thing. So I'm going to flip to who Kevin Gates is. Right. He just said shout out to Kevin Gates. Let me rewind that just so y'all.
About nature. How I told my people, you gotta be one with nature again. Way before Kevin Gates said that shit. Nothing against Kevin Gates. Shout out to him if he's raising his frequency, sending nothing but peace and love and insight to Kevin Gates. But way before Kevin Gates said that shit, you come right here and get this all day about nature.
All right. And let me see. And look at this. He's talking about you have eyes on your kneecaps. And also with TTM Academy, we do a lot of debunks of misinformation. A lot of people got mad when I corrected DJ Babu for drawing the wrong concept of the musical bar on his whiteboard. So, you know, when we do these debunks, I first heard about RASHAD Jamal when I checked out one of his 33rd parallel lectures, and I had to debunk it, you know. So we're going to debunk all these different things. It says, I've spoken to you about the 9 different eyes. So let's
cosmic facts, or the realms, I should say. The truth about rainbows and how they stargates.
Right, he's saying rainbows are stargates. If you you know, actually go to the definition of what a rainbow is, you know, a rainbow is just a refraction of you can create a rainbow with a water droplet, with a crystal pyramid, just like the Pink Floyd cover. Rainbows are very easy to create, right? And actually, I'll show you my film where Uma York is actually one of the actresses in my film, my first full-length film, Skater Girl. I was filming a scene where an actual rainbow appeared, and there was no Stargate there. So I'm going to debunk that right now. That should be on the front page right here. Let me see. Let me go into this in this video. And there's an actual rainbow in here. I actually caught a real rainbow. Like, I didn't superimpose anything. It was a real rainbow. So I'm going to forward to this real rainbow, because he's saying that there's stargates at the end of a rainbow. So here we go, right here. See this rainbow right here. If you can see, there's a real rainbow right here. This is a real rainbow. Y'all see that? You see this arc right here? So just like, you know, so the water droplets in the air can refract and create a rainbow, right? So white light, when white light is, we're going to talk about real physics, you know, because, you know, he's dropping so much stuff he's mixing real facts with a lot of a lot of misinformation, a lot of wives' tales, a lot of fake stuff, right? And he's not presenting any actual slides or diagrams. And I would say to anybody that's listening to YouTube lectures and people lecturing on different concepts, if the person doesn't have any diagrams or any pictures, you know, how do you know it's not cap? You know, so I would suggest it's best to be following people that are actually dropping pictures and actually dropping images of artifacts or images of old documents or current documents, right? But you can see, I'm going to press play. So this is a real rainbow I caught. It's a real rainbow, and you can see the rainbow starts over here and it ends right here. There was no portal there. I was shooting out there all day, and this rainbow was there for a long period of time. And I was able to catch it, you know. And there's no gold at the end of this. There's no leprechaun there, right? A rainbow is simply just a refraction of light. It's basically when white light enters a prism, it can be broken down into the visible light spectrum that we see. Because remember, the visible light spectrum's Roy G. Biv is only what humans can see, right? Because the visible light spectrum goes beyond that, right? So that was a very simple debunk, right? So we see a rainbow right here, and I'll even bring that up where you can actually see the visible light spectrum. So I'm going to type, you know, it's so easy to debunk all his cat, right? So we're going to debunk that. I'm going to type, how are rainbows formed, right? And you can see right here, it's very, very simple. It says, When sunlight hits a rain droplet, some of the light is reflected. So you saw I was at one of those water things. It was like a waterfall there, and the droplets of the waterfall were going through it, right? When sunlight hits a rain droplet, some of the light is reflected. The electromagnetic spectrum is made of light with many different wavelengths, and each is reflected at a different angle. Thus, the spectrum is separated, producing a rainbow. So every color has its own wavelength, right? The higher vibrational colors are purple. Purple is the highest vibration that we can see, and then the lowest vibration that we can see is red, right? So the purple wavelength is a faster wavelength. That's higher vibrational, right? And when people talk about chakras and whatnot, they're talking about that high vibration mixed with the lower vibration all the way to red, the lowest chakra, right? When they apply the colors to the chakras, right? So yeah, that was an easy debunk, right? He's saying that there's stargates at the end of these, but you can create a rainbow itself. You're at home, you know what I'm saying? And there's no stargates there. Now, I'm not saying that wormholes don't exist. Obviously, wormholes are real, and the science of stargates is possible, but it's not at the end of a rainbow. That's some leprechaun wives' tale stuff. So that's why we're debunking all this misinformation, right? You can see rainbow geometry. It's a very simple science, right? It's really like first grade, second grade science. You can teach kids that at a very, very early age. Rainbows are a very, very simple concept. And I'm also going to type in the ultramagnetic spectrum. Ultramagnetic spectrum. So remember, that's only visible light that we can see, right? So when we see a rainbow, humans can only see the Roy G. Biv colors. But once you go beyond that, the radio stations, all these different frequencies are also light, right? Everything that's microwaves are a form of light. Everything is a form of light that's being transmitted through like antennas and things like that. It's just we can't see it. So right now, if they're playing Cardi B in your neighborhood on the radio station, Cardi B is literally a color that's in your room, but you just can't see it, right? So these are all facts, right? So this is I'm going to click on one of these. And we've done many lectures in the past on the electromagnetic spectrum. So this one's a little bit more clear maybe. Actually, that one's like low resolution, so I'm going to find another one. Looks like a little bit higher resolution. I'm going to go back on that. Let's find another one so we can wrap up this rainbow thing. But yeah, we debunked his rainbow thing very, very easily, very quickly. All right, so yeah, this is where we get into the wavelength stuff, right? So here at TTM Academy, TTM scratch notation for DJs that I created is basically a form of physics. It's TTM physics. And the BPM protractor is TTM geometry, right? So we deal with wavelengths here, right? And you can see the shorter wavelengths. The shorter wavelengths are a higher vibration, right? And the longer wavelengths are lower vibration, right? And you see red is at the lower vibration end of the spectrum, purple is at the higher vibration end of the spectrum. And then beyond, at higher vibrations are ultraviolet light, and X-rays are higher vibration, gamma rays are higher vibration. And notice these things are kind of dangerous to human. X-rays can, like with Marie Curie, who passed away in studying X-ray technology and things like that, dealing with radiation, she actually passed away from that, right? But then the safer ones are like infrared. The lower vibrational ones don't hurt humans. The radio waves, right? But as we know, the radio waves are being used to indoctrinate people, right? So these are all waves. So light is actually the light that we see is only a very, very small percentage of the actual light that's out there, right? All right, so we debunked that. We debunked the whole that thing that he was just saying. So we're back on to Kevin Gates, and notice the connection with Nature Boy wearing the feathers in their hair, trying to do the Aboriginal American black man thing, and as like a style. All right, but we're gonna go really deep into Kevin Gates, and there's a lot of parallels between Kevin Gates, Nature Boy, and RASHAD JAMAL, in that they're thugs hardened criminals that are using, so-called consciousness to just make money, right? So he said, yeah, the truth about rainbows, how they're stargates. We just debunked that rainbows are not stargates. You can make a rainbow in your own house, right? You can make it with the prism. Like I was talking about the Pink Floyd album cover. I'm going to type that again. So Pink Floyd album cover. So I'm going to type Pink Floyd album cover, right? This is this famous Pink Floyd album cover. You see right here that this is basically how it works. White light goes into the prism and then it gets diffracted in the prism and the wavelengths get separated so that you don't just see all the combination of all these colors together as white light. You see them broken apart, right? All right, so let's move on. So we just debunked that. All right, now he was also talking about some other crazy stuff. Let's go to here. So let's play this.
That lead to other dimensions, cosmic facts, other realms, I should say. I've spoken to you about the 9 different eyes you have.
So he's saying we got 9 eyes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knees, caps is 7 and 8. Bottom.
So he's saying we got eyes in the bottom of our knees. So he's just dropping all this. We got eyes in our knees and the bottom of our feet. There's a lot of cap that he can't prove because he'll say it's esoteric facts, but it's not a fact if you can't prove it. Facts are things that we can all prove, and science is always changing. Science is never stagnant. Science is always moving forward, and even in different universes, scientists have found that there could be different principles that go against principles in another universe. But in our universe, we know that there's certain facts, right? So so this is going to be debunking a lot of the anti-fact stuff that RASHAD JAMAL is pushing, and this is why he's not monetized. If you've ever wondered if he's dropping all this knowledge and facts, why isn't it monetized? It's not monetized because he's not presenting any proof. He's on the Alex Jones tip. A couple of years ago, YouTube and a lot of other social media platforms, or not social media, but just platforms in general, started blocking or demonetizing things that could lead people to do crazy things. Like if Alex Jones is telling you there's aliens under your McDonald's, some crazy person might go into McDonald's and try to kick down the door and demand to see the aliens underneath the McDonald's, right? So that's cap, right? And RASHAD JAMAL is promoting a lot of cap, and what's crazy is that a lot of his fans are coming to this page and saying this page is cap when all we present is facts here. That's all. That's why at TTM Academy we're a science institution. We're not just dropping random esoteric knowledge with no facts. And in my Bro Yosef lecture, that's another example. He's never presenting diagrams. He's just like, he's acting like he's Constantine, like he's Keanu Reeves, and he can talk to the dead and go to the other side and fight demons. And he said he saw these demons coming out of the ground in a chariot, and he battles them, and he can save your ancestors on the other side. And just telling his fans all types of crazy stuff, right? Just like RASHAD JAMAL telling his fans all types of crazy stuff. So we're going to get into Kevin Gates now, and why RASHAD JAMAL promoting Kevin Gates is very, very important. It's because there's a million rappers that have that spit knowledge that he could have been talking about, right? But he chose Kevin Gates. So let's see why he chose Kevin Gates. Let's talk about that. So this title says Kevin Gates sleeps with his own family member, his cousin, right? So we're gonna press play.
Rapper out of Baton Rouge, and he has kicked up some dust by saying that he was dating his cousin, and they were intimate for months, and then his grandmother.
So this is that TMZ dude, but I guess he's on Fox talking about it.
Drops a bombshell, and the bombshell is, you're related. You're related. He didn't know it was his cousin until she said it. So now the question, you keep dating her. This is what Kevin said was going on.
Tell my y'all look like brother and sister. No, I'm gonna find out she my cousin, you heard me? But I ain't about to stop with it. good.
So this is when I first found out about Kevin Gates.
We click. I ain't grow up with you knowing you was my people. I don't get tired. Man, y'all won't stay out my business. So you mean to tell me if you been with somebody for 3 months, you heard me, everything beautiful, your grandmother come tell you one day, you know that's your cousin. Y'all done got the hard part out the way. Why a good thing? I don't get tired.
So this, a lot of people were.
So what would y'all do if you were dating somebody and then you found out that they were your cousin? Obviously somebody that's not a crazy person is going to stop dating that person.
Like, oh my God, he's dating, he didn't know when he started dating her that it was his cousin.
And then once you find out, the idea that you would actually be like, why would I stop? It's like, I don't know, you've been given a pretty good reason why.
Now, he makes it look like, this was just posted recently, so he makes it look like this is going on presently, but there is more to the story. Kevin joins us right now. Hey, Kevin.
How you doing, brother?
And I believe they kept dating for about a year and a half afterwards.
Good. So explain the time frame here. Who is this woman? When were you dating her?
I guess from 2006 to like 2008.
All right.
Okay, so this wasn't present.
But you see this. You see how, top cast owned corporations are pushing this Demon Time era of rap. This was, the early Demon Time era, because he's been around for a while, and this is when I first heard about him. And so it's just like, why would RASHAD JAMAL be promoting Kevin Gates when he could be like, yo, talking about, Lord Jamar knowledge, or, there's a billion rappers promoting knowledge. Chuck D,
No, but that's my good friend. We're gonna always be friends. She's gonna always be special to me.
Okay, so you started dating her in 2006.
But it's just, it's just making rap culture and our culture just look crazy.
When did you find out that she was your cousin? When did your grandma tell you that?
So I'm showing this because it's showing that RASHAD JAMAL is kind of out there, and not just out there in being out there like, out there esoteric, more out there in the sense that he's promoting, negative things, negative people, and he's mixing it with some knowledge. He does have some knowledge. He's very charismatic. He's funny in his lectures, but he's promoting a lot of craziness.
I want to say like 3 or 4 months after dealing with him.
And you guys, and your grandmother told you guys are like first cousins, second cousins.
I don't know all that. I got a real big family, and it's impossible for me to know every person that I'm related to in my family. I've never seen this person until that day, and then that's what happened.
Okay, so help us out here. When they said that's your cousin, they know something. So is this part of your grandfather's family? Is she part of your grandpa's family?
I never checked into it.
All right, so we're gonna get out of that one. So this, we're gonna go to this next one. So I'm gonna close that.
Yeah, y'all look like brother and sister. Shit, no. I'm fucking the shit out of her. Come to find out she my cousin, you heard me? But I ain't about to stop fucking with her. Shit, the pussy good and we click. Shit, I ain't grow up with you knowing you was my people. I don't get tired. Man, y'all gonna stay out my motherfucking business. So you mean to tell me if you been fucking with somebody for 3 months, you heard me, everything beautiful, and your grandmother come tell you one day, that's your cousin. Y'all done got the hard part out the way.
Now, this is another heinous Kevin Gates thing. This is Kevin Gates. This is horrible what he did right here. So I am Kevin Gates. You see that? Viewing the body of the woman I called my mama before my show. I miss you. I love you forever. R.I.P. Abuela. Da 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 da. Right? So it's his grandmother. And a lot of people felt this was off. You see people's reactions like WTF, and a lot of people ride with him, and RASHAD JAMAL. This is what RASHAD JAMAL rides with. Like, I don't even want to leave this on the screen too long. This is like kind of disrespectful to me to post this on Instagram for views. And that's sick. You know what I'm saying? He's posting his grandmother who passed away literally on Instagram, right? And you see that, they're trying to market him to kids. These are major companies pushing this guy, pushing this stuff, right? So I'm going to close this. All right. That's for another lecture. All right. So boom. Now we got this right here, right? This is Kevin Gates on the sus stuff, right? That's what this part of the lecture is about. This is the sus stuff. And you can see him, getting another man, especially another crazy person on his arm, right? If you don't know, this cat, NBA Youngboy, he got his whole YouTube deleted because YouTube was just like, yeah, we can't promote this stuff. He's got real guns in his videos, and they're all, not even registered or licensed, and they're felons holding the stuff. He beat up his girlfriend in the staircase. Everybody saw it. Academics reported on it, but yeah, Academics still promotes him. And that's the problem with the Demon Time rap era, is that when you see something, a rapper do something crazy, and people just forget about it like it's old news. They're conditioning the youth, just like a lot of RASHAD JAMAL fans. They're like, oh, that's old, that's past. Yeah, he did attempted murder. That was a long time ago. He beat up his girlfriend. That was a long time ago. Because RASHAD JAMAL pled guilty to in Milwaukee or in Wisconsin, I believe. I'm not sure if it was Milwaukee, but in Wisconsin, he pled guilty to beating up his girlfriend for domestic violence charge. He did like 4 months. And but people are like, oh, you're being negative for critiquing RASHAD JAMAL, but it's like, no, positivity. The truth is positive, and the truth will always be positive. And if he has negative skeletons in his closet, and then he's promoting the opposite or mixing that with a bunch of wives' tale, he's talking about dark elves. Rashad's talking about dark elves and light elves and just all this stuff he can't prove, right? But yeah, you see where these cats are coming from. You see he's literally got this cat, on his tattoos, right? It's like another man. First of all, that's sus in itself, and then it's sus that this other man is actually, a mentally challenged individual. Because if you see these scars on the top of NBA Youngboy's head, he was in a head brace for a long time as a youth and as a kid. He's got these dents on his head. A lot of people think, oh, maybe he got it fighting or shooting or something, but no, these are actually from him being being disabled as a child, right? So in this industry, they're purposely signing these crazy people, and that's why this era has to end, and it's starting to end with the Atlanta police. Like I was saying, ain't no playing, GA. The Atlanta police are starting to help in this Demon Time rap era, because now Atlanta is basically the mecca of rap, and since Demon Time rap is the predominant form of rap now, Demon Time trap, Demon Time drill. Because remember, there's positive drill too. That's why I'm not against drill music. I make drill music. I'm a drill music pioneer, actually. If you check my resume, you go back to 2005. I was doing drill and breakcore and grime stuff mixed together. But yeah, so let's get out of that NBA Youngboy thing. We're gonna keep this moving. So let's see. So we're gonna look at him on Hot 97.
I never knew her. If I grew up like my sister, I grew up taking baths with my baby sister, so it's, that's gross. But I'm talking about, I never knew this beautiful woman.
I get it.
My grandmother didn't even know who she was. Mi abuelita, when they talked and she found out who her family was, that's when my grandmother told me, that's your cousin.
How long after did you find out?
We had already crossed the bridge. We had been,
And then you see them, they're laughing. They're laughing. Like, that's disgusting. That's totally disgusting. It's like, yeah, we know Jerry Lee Lewis, married his cousin. I guess Abraham Lincoln married his cousin. That's, people do that, right? Even Amenhotep III, right? Because a lot of conscious people will be like, oh, every Egyptian pharaoh is dope. But I'm like, nah, man, F Amenhotep III for having a baby with his daughter. You know what I'm saying? Amenhotep III was whack. Just because somebody's black like you doesn't mean that they're a good person, And a lot of RASHAD JAMAL's fans, they're kind of just riding for Rashad just because he's spitting some consciousness and he's black, but they're not looking at this 11-year-old girl that's saying that he assaulted her, right?
Yeah, Instagram was so honest. She was like, and it's good.
We had all,
and it's good. You see how we've done the lecture in the past on Hot 97 covering up the guy, one of the guys that was in the mob that actually killed a young black man back in the day. He got like a Grammy and stuff with Hot 97 or whatever. We did that lecture. I'll put a link to that. But yeah, it's just it's just crazy because this company is actually owned by a chosen person, right? Because for the algorithms, right, a top cast chosen person.
Already crossed the bridge, and you know, I have an unconventional way of doing things, and people say, Kevin, you know, it was a beautiful situation. I love Nasty Six.
Right, and now we're gonna flip to Rashad. Why is Rashad into him, right? And shout out to Kulu live streaming for exposing this. Right, we're gonna play this.
Mm-hmm. Get ya right.
You see that? You see that?
Young and ready. You should have told me you was ready.
He said young. You see that?
To go all the way.
So you see, in this lecture, he's basically in this Rashad. I think this was just like an Instagram thing he posted. He's saying what he would do to young Pharaoh's wife, like how he would stroke her and whatnot. I'm not wife. I'm sorry, young Pharaoh's baby's mother, right? His ex-wife, his baby's mother, right? And Rashad's literally in his own wife's house talking about how he would stroke young Pharaoh's baby's mother. Like, how disrespectful is that, right? Because he's like, oh, I'm a king, dragon, Pharaoh, this, and I can have multiple wives and stuff like that. But this is still disrespectful to be doing this in showing how he's going to stroke another woman in the house of his wife.
Me. I'ma be sex you down. You ain't never had nobody make love to you on the wall. I'm gonna put you against the wall, one leg up, slide up in there. You hear me?
You see that? So we can see these parallels between Kevin Gates, Nature Boy. It's all the same. This is whether it's a cult or a gang or whatever. This is the Demon Time era rap, right? So let me fast forward a little bit more through this Kevin Gates thing. Let's see. Go a little bit forward. But yeah, now we're gonna get to the really traumatic stuff, right? So let's go to this right here. Remember Rashad Jamal is promoting Kevin Gates. So we're just dropping facts. These are all facts.
A rapper kicks a female.
Because also shout out to Brett Carr, Akah Ra. A lot of my YouTube lecture style is definitely heavily influenced by him. Because he's always just dropping straight articles and straight stuff you can't dispute, right? All right, so I'm gonna keep this playing.
Female fan in the chest hard at a Polk County nightclub. A rapper kicks a female fan in the chest hard at a Polk County nightclub.
So as far as parallels between Rashad Jamal and Kevin Gates, they're both misogynists and misogynoir, right? They're both beating on black women, right? Rashad Jamal did 4 months for beating up a black woman, and he's now in jail now for possibly touching a black girl. And Kevin Gates did mad time for doing something totally crazy. A fan touched his leg, a woman touched his leg at a show, and he just kicks her, right? He kicks her in the face. And he did a bunch of time for that. He's a crazy person. He's literally a madman, just like Gigi Allen, just like, a lot of different musicians over the years that have been madmen, right?
And controversial video of the incident is blowing up online. Holly Bound.
But yet he keeps getting signed, new labels. He's getting bigger and bigger. All this crazy stuff he's doing, right? Because if it was a Mexican artist or European or Indian or Asian artist, they would probably get dropped off their label. But when a black artist kills somebody 2 weeks before they get signed, like the baby did, people, they love it. So they're pushing actual Demon Time culture onto the black community and it's destroying our communities. Because if somebody grows up thinking that Kevin Gates, NBA YoungBoy, Rashad Jamal, all that stuff is cool, then they're going to be hitting their wives. They're going to be hitting their girlfriends. They're going to be hitting their sisters, mothers, things like that. And only, punks hit women. You know what I'm saying? So Kevin Gates is a punk for hitting women, and Rashad Jamal is also a punk for hitting women. Anybody that's hitting women is a punk.
Joins us now live from Lakeland outside Rumors nightclub. Holly?
Well, good evening to you, Jen. About 400 fans piled in here Friday night to see rapper Kevin Gates, but one who made it to the front row walked away in pain and headed to the hospital. A starstruck fan struck by the star himself.
You see that? So she just touched his leg. She just touched it real quick. She just touched his leg real quick. She didn't hit him. Let's play that again. She touched his leg real quick. You see that?
A starstruck fan struck by the star himself. This video of a Lakeland teen getting a forceful kick from rapper Kevin Gates Friday.
You see that? He kicked a woman.
Started filling up.
And that's also some stuff, because only a sus dude would actually kick a woman for something. You know what I'm saying?
Up Christy Ireland's Facebook feed when she woke up the next morning.
I'm like, oh my God, that poor girl. And
minutes later, she learned that girl was her 18-year-old daughter, Miranda.
This is me off.
Ireland's.
And when he's on Hot 97, he's like, oh, there's another camera angle. It didn't go down like that. I'm probably not even going to play that because it's clear. He kicked it. He kicked her.
Now finding the rapper's rage on the stage is nothing new. Earlier this year, cameras captured him.
The show got shut down. He got arrested because he's a fool. He's a madman, right? And you see, this is an instance of Rashad Jamal promoting a madman, right? And they say, certain types of energies attract each other, right? Birds of a feather flock together.
Fighting with two females at a show in Michigan.
No, I don't care who you are, NFL player, just a regular person who goes a daily job to the mall, or a rapper, who you are. You don't come to anybody's hometown, anybody's state, anybody's place of residence anyway and kick anybody. She did not deserve that.
Miranda's tough.
And he did a bunch, he did a bunch of time for that. And I remember I was actually in Europe. I was in Berlin, right? I'm in Berlin, where hip hop is big in Berlin. They have their own local, German acts all over Germany, and only certain American groups get to make it out there. And I remember I was out in Berlin after he got out, and I was looking, they had Odd Future there, and then they had Kevin Gates. I'm like, wow, at the same time, Odd Future, and why is that? We're going to do a whole series of lectures on Odd Future in the future, about suburban top cast Euro diaspora fetishism of black cast skate culture, shenanigans and Samboism, because Tyler, the creator, he's a very talented musician, just like Bojangles is a very talented dancer, but he's promoting modern Samboism, like when they had that Sista get slapped in their video, in the Odd Future video. That's when I tuned out to Odd Future, when they slapped that Sista in their video. And you see these parallels of when I was in Berlin, I was in Europe, and they didn't have other rap groups there. They literally just had Odd Future and Kevin Gates in there that week or that month while I was in Berlin one summer. And both of those groups promote misogynoir, or sisters getting slapped up.
Was a typical fan's excitement, she says, and doesn't justify violence.
And you want to be famous, you got to deal with it.
Gates' work has earned him fame, one song reaching number 30.
It's like, why would he do that,
On the
But we already saw that, he's clearly sus.
rap charts. But Ireland hopes it's this performance that makes people realize who he is.
Look at that. That was in her stunt. That could have caused some serious problems, and he served jail time for that. He's a mammoth. And that's the thing with the youth, they forget all about that. They're just like, oh, he's hot. They're so into popularity and worshiping whoever's popular that they're not even adding up 1 + 1. Like a kick in the face, smashing his cousin for 1.5 years, knowing that she was his cousin, or 2 years, really doing it.
She told me that she was excited to see him, and next thing she knows, she was kicked in the chest and she was passed out. And they should pursue him and arrest him, and he should pay. He don't come to.
And I'm sure all those people in that show are probably still fans, except her.
Polk County.
That's how ignorant people are these days, and they're basically cultivating the ignorance and expanding it.
Doesn't play.
And Lakeland police tell me they are interviewing Miranda and they do expect to file charges. Jen?
Holly, what about Kevin Gates? Any apology or response from him or his camp?
No, absolute silence there, Jen. I've reached out by phone and email and haven't heard anything back from them.
Maybe police can get more of a response. Holly Bounds, live in Lakeland for us tonight. Thank you.
To help reduce.
All right, so you saw it right there. That was it right there. Let me shut that window. But yeah, this is Plug Daughter. Let me play this.
Treat me like family. And if I ever leave, well, they gon' kill my family.
And you see that. I just wanted to play that one little clip because you can hear what they're kind of pushing on the youth. Like in psychology, you can call it a lot of different things, but you could call it subliminal. When you're hearing certain words on the radio, you're like, oh, kill my family, and then you got people literally killing their family, like a RASHAD JAMAL fan, killing his mom and committing matricide, and Nature Boy committing matricide, right? All these things are going in the back of heads of youths, and you got to remember, mentally ill people are a large percentage of the population, and this guy's clearly mentally ill, but they're funding a mentally ill person to promote, more mental illness in the black community. So just like in slavery in colonial times, during the slavery wars, colonial wars, the same thing. Promoting when you're colonizing and enslaving people, what's inside their head is the most important thing, and degrading their minds to lower than human is very important. So we're going to end on this note. Shout out to Asir for reminding about this. Asir, the Duke of Tears. He just reminded me about, I was announcing that I was about to do a Kevin Gates lecture, and then he reminded me the fact that Kevin Gates did this. So Kevin Gates kicks women out for not giving his dog head, right? And this is, obviously bestiality, and, now he's, promoting bestiality, right? And this is sick, right? So let's read this, right? This is so sick I don't even want to read it, but I'm going to read it because this is what RASHAD Jamal is promoting, right? I'm going to go back. Let's see.
That's when my height advantage come in. I'm low to the ground. I just, girl, put it on me.
And you got to remember, kids are watching Instagram. It's not like he can have, OnlyFans thing or whatever. So, there's 7-year-olds looking at RASHAD Jamal. There's 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and 50-year-olds. There's all ages looking at these things. That's why you got to think, okay, and he's talking about going for the young girls. He just said it in the thing. So, shout out to Kulu for exposing all that, right? But we're going to read this article on this guy that RASHAD Jamal thinks is dope and is telling his fans to be into this stuff, right? So Kevin Gates took to Instagram on Tuesday, February 10th, to share that he kicked a woman out of his home after she declined to give his dog fellatio. Now, we're going to continue this. It says, Ho talking about, I'm not about to give head to no dog member. So I got to, for the algorithms, I got to translate it. That's a dog. And he said, Ho, you can call him what you want, but he loyal. He stays in the first Instagram. He says in the first Instagram video, right? In January, Gates posted a series of videos on Instagram when she says that he had been having sex with his cousin and had no plans to stop. So yeah, that's his claim to fame. Has always been just being a weirdo on some sicko weirdo. Because weirdo could be somebody that's just eccentric, but weirdo can also be a sicko. And in the Demon Time era rap, weirdo more so is in the sicko realm, and these people are sick, right? Like, why would, in a lecture about positivity, why would RASHAD Jamal be talking about Kevin Gates, right? And he's responding to responding to the fact that one of his cult followers slayed his mom, and he tried to slay his whole family, but the cop actually said that his sword was very dull because it was just it was never a sharpened like real sword. It was just like a ninja sword he bought off the internet, so it was really dull, and he tried to slay his whole family, but he couldn't slay the males. and I think he slashed his mom like 90 times or something like that. So these people are all sick, right? And I'm doing these series of lectures because this whole Demon Time era of hip hop is not just a music thing. It permeates all black culture. And I've had two cousins, get smoked YNW Melly style in the back of their heads by trap music fans. One of my cousins was a blood and his own blood homie, smoked him in the back of the head when he was like 19, and it was like the day after his birthday, and he was flexing some money that maybe he got for his birthday on Instagram, and then his own homie smoked him in the back of the head and probably took his money or something. It's probably $300 or something stupid. You know what I'm saying? And then my other cousin, a guy he grew up with in Mississippi near in Macomb. My people come from Macomb. Shout out to the Mississippi River civilization. Mississippi Delta civilization. That's where my people come from. Choctaws and the Cherokees up higher north. My father's side is Cherokee, Black Cherokee, and my mom's side is from Macomb. So my cousin in Macomb, he got murdered the same exact way. He was sitting in his car and he got shot in the back of the head by some wannabe gangster dude that he grew up with in Macomb. So all these small towns, big cities, everybody's dealing with these problems. And then I got another cousin that we still don't know what happened to him. He was found face down in a river that was like a couple feet tall, and he was a great swimmer. He was an Afghanistan war vet. And he, was trained in swamps, so, it wasn't that he drowned, but we don't know what happened to him, So we're about to do a GoFundMe very, very soon to pay for an investigator to investigate that, So yeah, we see that we're dealing with a sick era in rap, and all this stuff needs to end, and with it's going to take more than just the Atlanta police force. It's going to take police forces all around the nation. It's going to take even the feds. A lot of RASHAD Jamal fans have been telling me like, "Oh, you're an agent. You're this, that, and this, that." But in reality, we don't know that RASHAD's is not the agent. And I'm going to end on this, because I'm an agent for positive hip hop. For positivity. We've been calling out negative rappers since the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? When the stuff started getting out of hand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not against gangster rap as a genre, right? I think artists should be able to talk about whatever they want, right? But when it's kids listening and it's the radios and stuff like that, they got Demon Time rap stuff in the middle of the day for the kids, right? And I don't think that, the kids shouldn't be having access to that stuff. And when it was happening in the white Caucasian cast, with the Ozzy Osbourne stuff and when it was getting into the satanic stuff back in the day, they came together and they stopped it. You don't hear death metal on the stuff with satanic vibes on white radio anymore because they put it into it. The parents came together, but black parents are just like, oh, we're not coming together to really stop it. And, that's why Hot 97, Power 107.9, all these, like in Atlanta, all these radio stations are owned by the top cast, and it needs to stop, right? And we're going to need everybody to help stop it, not just the black community. We're also going to need, the police to step in. We're going to, just like RICO charges, just like with Young Thug and all that stuff, So it's a great day when these cults and gangs are being taken down. All right, so for people saying like, "Oh, you're an agent," this, that, well, I did a definition of what the word agent means in a prior lecture, and then one of Rashad's fans, replied that well, look up agent provocateur, and agent provocateur is somebody that's doing things to throw a monkey wrench in a movement. And so if you have a movement of black people seeking equality, what RASHAD Jamal is doing is throwing a monkey wrench and stuff by, telling his fans to evade warrants for half a year and just telling him all this cap, all this misinfo. That's counterintelligence. What RASHAD Jamal is actually doing is actually counterintelligence. It's actually a provocateur thing. And you got to think, why would somebody do that? And I'm going to show you all this. A lot of y'all might have missed this. It says Russian documents reveal desire to sow racial discord and violence in the U.S. So Russian documents reveal desire, right? The revelations come as U.S. intelligence agencies have warned of a probable Russian meddling in the 2020 election, right? So we know that was happening. And this is kind of when RASHAD JAMAL blew up too. We don't know that Putin is not paying RASHAD, right? We don't know that RASHAD might have met some Russian woman or dude at some point that's like, yo, we'll send you a grip of something every so often if you just, if you keep doing what you're doing, basically, right? So I'm going to press play.
New evidence suggests Russian efforts to meddle in American society stretch beyond elections. Documents seen exclusively by NBC News appear to show another bizarre campaign to sow unrest in the U.S. No peace! Russian operatives last year pitched a plot to manipulate African Americans. One especially disturbing proposal suggests recruiting African Americans with criminal records, giving them sabotage training at camps in Africa, and returning them to the U.S.
And remember, we're going to be doing, we're going to be covering Bambaataa and all his heinous acts. And remember, Bambaataa went to Africa and he came back and started the Zulu Nation. So we don't know that a lot of these rappers aren't on Putin's payroll. You know what I'm saying? All these, we don't know Kevin Gates is getting, Putin money. We don't know what's happening, because we do know that on Facebook, there was all different types of black conscious sites and pages that were fake, that were just trying to cause, riots and cause unrest in America. And when I mean unrest, I'm not talking about like a march unrest. I'm just talking about riots and stuff like that. So we're going to see what these documents say.
Another proposal? Encouraging African Americans to push for independent statehood in the South.
It does not surprise me at all the extent to which Russia would go to undermine our democracy and really target divisions that already exist within our country.
The documents were found in communications between Russians linked to Yevgeny Prigozhin, a catering magnate dubbed Putin's chef, indicted by Robert Mueller for trying to sway the 2016 election. While NBC News cannot independently verify the documents, they were uncovered by an investigative Russian opposition group called the Dossier Center, which, in the past, has revealed authentic material to us.
Our adversary is coming at us. We should expect it to happen now leading up to the 2020 election, and these documents indicate we're going to see it on steroids.
While there's no indication the plans were more than aspirational, bipartisan members of Congress were so troubled they plan to introduce a bill to guard against these and other potential Russian plots.
All right.
At Target.
That's it. So, yeah, peace, y'all. That's the end of the lecture. So this is the lecture on how the doctrine of Kevin Gates how the doctrine of RASHAD JAMAL promoting Kevin Gates affects the black community, right? He's just telling us all this cat. You got eyes on the bottom of your feet, right? All right, peace, y'all.
Sauerkraut, waterfall, all of all, bow wow, call, tall, pow, south side, outside, pow, outline, missile thought, fire bounce, higher pose, out now. I was outside, now my power, pow, now. Eyes where I should've speak utterly, upside down, camera obscura, power down, scuba, mama in Cuba, my it sounds good now. Out and about, title bout, bow, how loud, high, loud, Mutai, Aztec, forearm, NASDAQ, abstract, back rockin' chow down, hazmat to do, so start electrically outbound. Matter of fact, pass that ginger pop in the cooler. Cooler than the medulla of Rick the Ruler. Hula hooping with nubile dimes from Nuba. That's that life of a king. Got my crown now, feeling accomplished. Super looper fresh chocolate, collectible conscious. Young crunk in your town now. Vietnam aircraft snapping like a bear trap. Tijuana Air Max chainmail gauntlet. Dip dive, so socialize. Clean out your ears and open your eyes. We never put doubt in our minds, cause you know when we touch the mic it's divine. Dip dive, so socialize. Clean out your ears and open your eyes. We never put doubt in our minds, cause you know when we touch the mic it's divine. Big Bertha earthquakes, 100 dB, 90 BPM, heavy hitting them triplets. 100-sided dice, rolling 79 twice. Get ready, we bringing the jazz back with the rhythm, we giving them infamous. Some Midwest liquid mission, tricky nicks and mixing, matching, scratching, rapping, action, Jackson making it happen. Pap it, midi, patch it, map it with a pinch of magic, casting master sentences. With a gang of wicked vixens listening close to us, flipping different widgets, mystic digits, coast to coast, pole to pole, folding time, golden time. Overload on stimulus. Dip dive, so socialize. Clean out your ears and open your eyes. We never put doubt in our minds, cause you know when we touch the mic it's divine. Dip dive, so socialize. Clean out your ears and open your eyes. We never put doubt in our minds, cause you know when we touch the mic it's divine. Dip dive, so socialize. Clean out your ears and open your eyes. We never put doubt in our minds, cause you know when we touch the mic it's divine. Dip dive, so socialize. Clean out your ears and open your eyes. We never put doubt in our minds, cause you know when we touch the mic it's divine. Lastly, we humming coming at you. Look out for that shrapnel out of the vacuum. Gaslit, thrashing, higher than the soy, flying in the void, hitting the cleanest bowls, dropping from helicopters. Classic, 303 acid, Elohim atom. Get your teeth slashing. Viennese fabric, the supreme magic. D&D master, Pyrenees cat, so TMZ massive. DMT axis, TNT blasting. Polygon lasso, beat boy graphics. Doggone asterisks, mathematics, everybody say go. Keep them hands clapping,